And you are looking at sold out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Philadelphia Eagles. And why are the Philadelphia Eagles 0-16? Because they suck. The Eagles always suck. The Eagles suck this year. The Eagles lost the Super Bowl because they suck, and the Philadelphia Eagles will always suck. The Philadelphia Eagles suck. And welcome to the Gridiron, everybody, anybody or anybody out there at all. Going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate it. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody, anything to say, please feel free, throw in the chat box, fire away. I usually try to check on the chat box. Once I get talking, I every 5 or 10 minutes or so, I try to check on the chat box. So something gets put in there. As soon as I see it, I try to respond to it. So please feel free and fire away. And before we get started, anybody want to help support my channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below is a top link. It takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. The second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third one is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them and everything. There's loyalty badges. Now, the cool thing is there's 8 different loyalty badges. Each loyalty badge is a different Giants helmet, okay? And the older the helmet is that's associated with your name, the longer you've been a supporter of my channel. Now, if you wind up getting the leather helmet associated with your name, right, you've been a supporter of my channel for a long, long time. There's also emojis. Right now, there's 4 emojis. Eventually, there will be a 5th emoji coming out. But I had the emojis made up on Fiverr. They freaking crack me up every time I look at them. There's some funny stuff. You can use them in the chat box, or if you're going to make a comment or something like that. So if anybody wants to help support my channel, once again, it would mean the absolute world to me. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please go down below. Hit the subscribe button and hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or I put out a video, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge, right? Now, let's see. What the heck are we at here? Right now, I'm at 5,000. Oh, it's just going up there. It's 5,929 subscribers. What the hell I start the day with? 5,891. So I've gone up 38 subscribers so far today, and there's still quite a few hours left to go in the day because I think the day doesn't end in YouTube till like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm in here in New Jersey, so I got like another 4.5 hours or so to go. So I'm well on my way to probably over 40 subscribers for the day. I guess it was about 2 weeks or so ago, somewhere around there. I reached the 5,000 subscriber mark. I never thought in my wildest dreams I'd ever get 5,000 subscribers. Well, now I'm up to 5,929. It's freaking absolutely crazy. Probably by the end of the weekend, I'll be at 6,000 subscribers. Absolutely phenomenal. So anybody who's subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. But as I said, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or put out a video, you'll be notified. Yeah. Kind of digging the music. Man, I don't know what the heck that was. Wow. That was some pretty cool music, though. Wow. I don't know where the hell that came from. Digging it, right? Also, finally, in the description box below, okay, there are 2 Facebook links. All right. Let's see here. If I can get to them. The top one, okay, takes you to a Facebook. It's a group. Okay, it's called the New York Giants of Gridiron. It's I make it so even a moron like me, my Facebook group, Facebook page, and my YouTube channel is all pretty much called New York Giants the Gridiron. All right. Right now we have over 2,300 members in the group. I post stuff in there every day. I spend like probably between the group and the page at least an hour and a half every day just putting stuff in there, post videos, all kinds of stuff that makes fun of the Cowboys, stuff that makes fun of the Eagles. I really don't care too much about the Commanders. They're their own joke. But I mean, if I see something that makes fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys, I make sure I copy and put it in there as well too. So I spend a lot of time in there every day. It's 7-day-a-week thing, right? So every day I'm putting at least 10, if not more, items in there. And the thing is, in the group, okay, not only am I putting stuff in there, but also the members are putting stuff in there as well. Okay. So, I mean, there's a ton of stuff going in the group every day. So go to the group and become a member. And then there's the second link. Okay. Second Facebook link, which takes you to the page, New York Giants, the Gridiron. All right. Right now, what do we got in there? 623 people who like it. And there's over 2,800 people following as of right now. And it's the same thing as like the page, the same thing with the group. I put in, at least 45 minutes or so every day, just putting stuff in there. I try to put at least 10 different things in there today, every day. Well, it's a video, a post, a picture, something I said, something that makes fun of the Cowboys, something that makes fun of the Eagles, something that has some stats on it, all kinds of stuff. So if you go to the page and you like it and you follow it, and you go to the group and you become a member, you get a ton of New York Giants information every day, right? And I always, if you're not satisfied, you get your money back guaranteed, right? So, I mean, go ahead. You get a ton of stuff that you'll get in there, right? So with all that stuff said and done, all out of the way with, saw something kind of interesting was with Aaron Jones, okay? Now, he's not, I mean, he is, but he's not. I mean, let's see. What do they got? 500. Giants ran the ball 520. The Packers, what the Packers run? 456. So the Giants run the ball more than the Packers did. And that's kind of, to be, expected. Obviously, you got Aaron Rodgers and you got Daniel Jones, right? Obviously, with Aaron Rodgers, obviously you want him throwing the ball more. That's why you're paying him, what are we like, $300 trillion a year, I think. So, and he's, one of the most dynamic, deadliest, whatever you want to call him, quarterbacks of all time, just flicking his wrist, just the way the guy can put the ball 30, 40 yards down the field on a freaking dime as a guy's going out of bounds. I mean, he just flicks his wrist and it's just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. But one thing I talked about like last night with Jalen Hurts is that one of the problems that he's finding himself to have, okay, a lot of times you can be as good as you want. It's kind of tough to get there when you got a big piece of the pie, as Jerry Jones says of the Dallas Cowboys, right? The bigger piece of the pie you want, the less pieces of the pie there is to go around. So when you want $50 million, and like last year, salary cap was $208 million, I believe it was, and you want 50. So basically you're taking almost like 25% piece of the pie, right? There's not as much to go around. So you kind of have the hard time, right, getting back to the big show, right? When you don't have a lot of phenomenal talent around you. So that's one thing you got to be careful of. You're taking too much money for yourself. But anyway, Aaron Jones, he took what was he at, 16? What the heck was he at here? All right, let's see here. I think it was 16. He was making. Oops. Well, but he took a nice sized pay cut. Bring him back to town for $11 million is pretty impressive. He took. Actually, I had a couple of articles. I guess the other one that I deleted shows the one that he was making. I think somebody said he was supposed to be making. I thought it said like about 16 million or so this year, but they brought him back on he took a pay cut down to 11. It says, what could help Joe Shane here is that Green Bay's Packer running back Aaron Jones just agreed to a new deal with the team for $11 million. Shane must show this to Barkley and let him know that anything north of $14 million won't get done. Right? Let's see. Adam Schefter says, as a resolution, instead of being released, see, I mean, that's what wound up happening because they're not going to pay him, or they couldn't afford him, so they were going to release him. But Aaron Jones will be staying in Green Bay this season after the Packers and his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, reached an agreement on $11 million salary for the 2023 season, includes an $8.52 million signing bonus. So, he's getting the signing bonus, he's getting some cash right up front, cash in hand and all that and everything. But let's see. It said, well, Barkley had a better year than Jones. I mean, yeah and no. All right. I'm going to go over some of the stats here in just a second. The Packers, and we went to, my son and I went to Lambeau Field this year, and we saw the Packers and the Cowboys play, wind up going to overtime. It's a very, very entertaining game. Very entertaining game. Aaron Jones played very, very well. Very, very well. Now, obviously, he doesn't have the moves and all and everything quite that Saquon does, but he gets the job done, and I'm going to show you in a minute, right? The Packers standout has been more durable and impressive with the ball in his hands in recent campaigns. The fact that the Packers were able to bring him back to town for $11 million is pretty impressive, all right? Jones saw his workload drop a little bit, okay, thanks to his A.J. Dillon, okay? But he still saw he was still a stud for the Packers and quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Barkley, of course, took his game to a new level this past fall, earning All-Pro honors, right? For the first time since his rookie season, maybe because he was he was a little nicked up, but pretty much for the most part stayed relatively healthy. I mean, he had a shoulder problem, he had a little nicked up here and there, but now let's not forget, it says in his article here, right? His injury history is something that can't be forgotten now, right? With that said, New York can't afford to break the bank to bring him back. Shane already made a statement by putting a $20 year. I don't know what the heck that is. Oh, man. But it must be one of these tabs I have open. They must have something that plays like every so many minutes. But, Shane already put $12 million a year in front of him, and apparently that was not good enough for him. So it feels like the middle of the ground between the two sides, right? Saquon might want 15 to 16. Shane might only want to give him like 12 or so. So we're looking at maybe 13 to 14. But, somewhere along the line, Saquon's also got to realize too, okay, that, is where there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to want him, of course. There's not going to be a lot of teams that are going to want to go out there and pay him $16 million a year. I don't know who's going to want to pay him $16 million a year when we just keep seeing the evidence at hand, okay, is that you don't need to win a Super Bowl with a $16 million a year running back, right? We saw how important it was for San Francisco to have a quarterback, right? But I mean, McCaffrey is huge, and I get it, all that. But I mean, you don't need a $16 million a year running back that's been injured often. Okay, so I mean, he can say no all he wants, but he's gonna have a hard time getting possibly a long-term deal. Maybe somebody might bring him in this year for 14, 15 or something. I mean, he can go to Florida where there's like no state tax and he'd save himself a lot of money, right? But I mean, if he's looking for like a nice little deal for 4 year deal, somebody's gonna want, like, what the heck would that be? $60 million, 4 years, $60 million with like 30, 40 million guaranteed or something. He's gonna have a hard time. Right? So I'm sure Shane obviously wants him back, but let's see. if that's also not good enough for Barkley, like the $13.5 million, then Big Blue might be inking him to a multi-year contract. May not happen. So now, if Jones is commanding only $11 million, there's no reason for Barkley to get $4 or $5 million more. This is something Shane will surely have to in the back of his mind as the negotiations go on. Now, again, I'm going to go over some stats here, right? Let's see. Now, Barkley last year, okay. I mean, yeah, let's not forget, very nice, solid season. He had 10 rushing touchdowns, okay. He had 57 receptions. He averaged 4.4 yards a carry. All right. He didn't have he had a 68 yarder was his longest. Okay. But he had a lot of nice rushing touchdowns, 10, which was phenomenal. No receiving touchdowns. He had 57 receptions. Okay. Aaron Jones, I believe, had 59, if I remember correctly. Aaron Jones had 59. Aaron Jones had 5 receiving touchdowns. Saquon Barkley had none. Aaron Jones averaged 6.7 yards per reception. Saquon 5.9. Okay. Saquon had 338 yards receiving. Aaron Jones 395. Let's see. Now, okay, Saquon only played in 16 games because he didn't play in the last game of the season. Aaron Jones played in all of them. Okay. But Aaron Jones, basically, I mean, between him and Dillon, basically there was almost like 50-50 with the carries. Okay, so they ran the ball a decent amount. The thing with the Giants was the Giants had some other running backs too, but they also had Daniel Jones. Aaron Rodgers is not a prime running candidate for the Packers. They don't want him, running unless he's scrambling for a first down or something. But Aaron Jones had 213 attempts. A.J. Dillon had 186. So they were damn close to almost 50-50 for the season, okay? But A.J. Dillon averaged 4.1 yards a carry. But Aaron Jones averaged 5.3 yards a carry, okay? Saquon, 4.4. Aaron Jones averaged almost a full yard a carry more than Saquon, all right? Aaron Jones only had 2 rushing touchdowns. A.J. Dillon, I don't know, maybe when they were getting in close, they just give inside the 5-yard line, they give the ball to A.J. Dillon. Maybe because A.J. Dillon had 7 rushing touchdowns. So Aaron Jones only had 2, but Aaron Jones averaged almost a yard more per carry than Saquon did. He averaged almost a yard more per reception than Saquon did, okay? He had 7 touchdowns. Saquon had 10, okay? But I said Aaron Jones is 28, had a very, very good season, okay? Very good season. He's a little older, but he's only $11 million, okay? So as I'm saying, so if Saquon wants like $16 million, he wants like almost 50% more than what they're giving Aaron Jones. I think it's, I think you got to, I hate to have it, because, I mean, it's nice keeping the core together. However you look at it, Saquon's a weapon, however you look at it, right? Obviously, you don't want to overpay for a running back where, once again, all the evidence that you have in front of you, you don't need to, go to Gurley World and start throwing money all over the freaking place to get a running back to go to a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl. Okay, the Chiefs running back was from Rutgers. Their leading rusher for the season was from Rutgers, a 7th round running back. But once again, it's the theory of relativity. Everything's all relative, right? Helps when you got Patrick Mahomes back there, when you got the man, right? The magic man with the football. You got Travis Kelce out there. You got, some decent wide receivers. But when you got, Andy Reid, I mean, you put the Chiefs running back on another team, he's not going to be as productive, obviously. But, I mean, you don't need, I said, look at the Eagles. Look how, once again, phenomenal offensive line, great weapons that helps the running game. It's all tied together, right? It's all tied together, But, you don't need that, right? So, it would be a shame to let Saquon go, even if he, start maybe talent-wise maybe start going down a little bit or whatever, you didn't see him, he had a couple nice long runs, but you didn't see any like long 80-yarders where he just took off and nobody could catch him or anything like that. So he's a weapon. He's a weapon, and he affects everything, right? If he's on the field, he's affecting the way the other team is calling defenses and looking at him and all. He's a weapon. So do you want to, let a weapon go? You try to get him for 13 or 14. However you look at it, he's a weapon, and he has the attention of the defense. Oh shit, Saquon's on the field. All right, put the big boy pants on, guys. Saquon's on the field. Let's keep an eye on him, right? I mean, you need those guys, right? It's kind of tough to go out there with a bunch of vanilla guys. Harry's and Joe's just out there, and just, everybody looks around. Yeah, well, there's nobody on this team that scares me. You need those guys. So, I mean, if we can get him for 13 or 14, I mean, a lot of people obviously say you don't have to that. I understand, but I would like to. I mean, he's a weapon. And if we can add another weapon in the draft, maybe another wide receiver, right? Or maybe one of those dynamic tight ends out there. Bellinger, and get another good solid tight end, because there's a few good tight ends. I don't know how Shane grades, putting on a priority of a tight end in the first round. Some good cornerbacks out there, which would help Wink out, right? If you got Adoree on one side, you get another good solid cornerback on the other side. That can help with the blitzing, because then you got two corners out there that can hold their own. So, but I mean, if you let Saquon go, I get it, right? But now you just lost your best weapon, right? So I'd really like to see him get back. Hopefully they can work something out. Then I saw that Shane wound up bringing his son, right? So Christian Daboll is an offensive assistant. As far as I know, he's just an entry-level offensive assistant. So what his job's going to be or anything, who knows? But although no official announcement was made, Daboll's name was added to the coaches section of the official team website. The New York Post later confirmed the hire. It's not unusual for large NFL staffs, which each NFL staff has about 3,000 guys. It's freaking amazing, to include relatives and even father and son pairings. Giants defensive assistant Kevin Wilkins is the younger brother of outside linebacker coach Drew Wilkins. Right now, Daboll has spent the past 3+ years working as a student coach at Penn State University. Right. Now, this past season, he took the responsibility of signaling in the plays, okay? Not calling the plays, but just signaling them in, okay? He's working his way on up. He's just a baby. You look at him in his picture, the dude's a freaking baby, all right? It's what I forgot how old he said he was. I mean, he's young. But, if his father can get some knowledge inside his head, Lord knows where the hell a guy can go. But I mean, he's just an assistant. And the way the thing is nowadays, you can have 300,000 coaches on your team, because I'm sure he ain't going to be making a heck of a lot of money, right? But I mean, the way the money's being thrown around nowadays, you can afford a trillion guys on your sideline. All, but they have him. Bill Belichick's son is on the sideline with him. It happens all the time. But his son, is one of the coaches, right? But I mean, as far as with Christian Daboll, I'm sure he's just some type of offensive assistant, and he's just going to start working his way up the ladder. So who knows where he's going to go? Be interesting to see if he winds up staying on the staff for a couple of years, and if he works his way up to maybe whatever. Now, assistant tight end coach maybe next year. Who knows, right? So it'll be interesting to see where they go. But I mean, if he's got Daboll on his side, I'm sure he has a good future in front of him. Now, the one more thing was that we got free agent. Well, actually, we got there's the combine coming up. Okay, there's always like something. I mean, it's like every you got the playoffs and all. right? And, the end of the season and the playoffs are in January. Then you got the Super Bowl in February. You got the Shrine game. And then you got the Combine in February. You got that. Then in March, you got the beginning of the new year, which is March 15th, I believe it is, which is right around there. That's when free agency starts. Then, of course, you got the big, everything's boiling up to the draft in April, right? So it's like, it's almost something every month. They got a little something, a little something, a little something. So it just keeps you going throughout the year. May can get a little, because the draft is over, right? Obviously all the games are over. The draft is over. Free agencies. I mean, there's no big, huge guys out there. For the most part, in free agency, there might be somebody looking to get like a ton of money per year that nobody wants to pay up on him, and then the guy brings his demands down, and somebody maybe, pays up for him. But for the most part, a lot of the big guys in free agency are done. So like once May rolls around, it kind of starts, But then, obviously like July, that's when the camp starts back, training camp. Then you got August with the preseason games, and September, and we're off and running again, guys. So, February, March, and April are big months, right? But so we got, in a couple of weeks, we got the free agency starting. Now, obviously, a couple of days before that, that's when you can do a little tampering. I think that's when you call on the agent. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but that's when you can start calling the agents up, or you can call the players up, or however it works. But that's when you can do a little tampering going on. I think you got like 2 or 3 days before free agency starts. I think it was May 15th. So I think it's 12 o'clock on March 15th, 12 o'clock. I think that's when it starts. But I think that a couple of days before that's when you can do a little tampering. But if there's something that the Giants need, obviously they need wide receivers, but the wide receiver free agency market it's just like, it's like Darius Slayton is up there. He's one of the, So if you're landing Darius Slayton, you're bringing back your own guy, right? Obviously, So it's not like, there's some guys out there that might be trade baits. Obviously you keep hearing, guys being, trade bait and all, but as far as there's not a huge boatload, ton of talent there at the wide receiver. But so another, obviously, except for the wide receivers, I'm looking on the offensive side. How about the offensive line? Is there anything out there? There's some tackles. Okay, the Giants ain't need no tackles. It's nice to be able to say that, though. The Giants don't need tackles. Okay. But in Pro Football Focus, all right, I got a subscription to them, so I go over them a lot. Pretty much the top guy. Is it who we got? NBC, okay, NBC 2. They both got Orlando Brown, okay, from the Chiefs, okay. He's the top guy now. Once again, are they going to be able to sign him or let him go? Apparently, Brown had a slow start, but his second half was very strong. From week 10 to the end of the regular season, Brown's 88.7 pass blocking grade, ranked third best among left tackles. So he was, he had a very good season. Now, his PFF projected contract, 5 years, $21 million a year. So the Giants don't need that. Actually, according to Pro Football Focus, anyway, the top few guys are tackles. Okay, we don't need that. All right. But one interesting guy is Isaac Seumalo, right, from the Eagles. Now, one of the things that the Giants, that the Eagles did with like him, James Bradbury, there's a couple other guys, and I keep saying it in all my videos because I freaking despise the Eagles, is one of the reasons why they have such a good team like this past season. With that they brought in, there's some guys they brought in that won't be on the team, okay, and they're going to be paying them for like 3 or 4 years. I know Bradbury is going to be dead cap money, or he's got for the Eagles for like 4 more years, 23, 24, 25, and 26. Next 4 seasons, Bradbury won't be on the team, but there's dead money for Bradbury. So basically what they did, they brought him in because they can't afford to pay him his full salary. So what we'll do, we'll bring you in, we'll pay you a little bit here, and we'll just pay you for the next 13,000 seasons. Well, you'll be on our roster for the next 350 million years, and we'll just pay. So that's why the Eagles were able to bring a lot of. They have a phenomenal, without question. Without question, to me, top to bottom, offense, defense, the best roster in football. To me, this past season, without question. But I'm saying one of the reasons why, was they got guys on their roster that they're paying, that won't be there, and they're just paying them for years after. Now, Isaac Seumalo is one of those too. He's, I think he's going to be being paid on their roster for like the next, 23, 24, and 5. I think it's the next 3 seasons. He's got dead cap money. So basically, they're signing him, right? And they worked it out with his contract where he's going to be on being paid on the roster for the next 3 years, but he won't be on the team. But Isaac Seumalo had a very, very good season. All right, what is he? They got an average salary now. This might not work out like that, but he's 29. He'll be close to 30. Well, he'll be 30 next season during the season, right? Now, I don't think the Eagles can afford to bring him back. They don't have enough money, I think, right now in the salary cap to even sign their draft class, okay? They got 2 first-round picks number 10 and 31, or it might be 30 because Miami doesn't have a first-round pick this year. So, but Seumalo projected contract here, according to Pro Football Focus, is 3 years, $11 million each season. Now, that's something that might be right down the Giants can possibly right down their alley. That, if they can work that in there, right? Because we don't need tackles. We could use a bona fide center, okay? And there's a couple guys here, okay? Seumalo, right, from the Eagles, he's very, very good. Let's see here. Seumalo logged more than 1,000 snaps in 2022. He was just a machine. No, you just wound him up at the beginning of the season, threw him the frick out there. Yo, Isaac, we'll see you at the end of the season, brother. Go get him, right? 1,000 snaps. Had a huge bounce back year, earned a career best 75.2 overall grade. Seumalo was the model of consistency, not just from a health standpoint, earning just one single game grade below 60 on the season. And it was at 59.4. This is according to Pro Football Focus. Seumalo's pass blocking from week 11 on, protecting 2 very different quarterbacks in Jalen Hurts and Minshew Mania, was nothing short of spectacular, earning a 90.4 mark with 0 quarterback hits and pressures allowed on just 1.8% of his pass blocking snaps, right? So, he did a phenomenal job this season, okay? Now, they said they have a projected 3-year deal for $11 million a season. So if the Giants can work the numbers right, that might be something to think about, because we got to realize that we got Glowinski this season. But the thing is, you got to remember is that Seumalo's coming in, you're bringing him in to start him. Okay. Now, what did the Giants, they drafted a Zudu in the 3rd round. Kind of thinking that they wanted to kind of pencil the guy in as a starter somewhere along the line. Obviously got injured this past season. We'll have to wait and see what's going to go on at left guard. Okay. We got Nick Gates who can play there. If we bring him back, who knows? But Ben Bredesen, we got Shane Lemieux. I don't even know if the guy can even stay healthy anymore. Then you got Azuda, right? So we got a lot of guys for that left guard spot. Okay. Who's going to take, right, the hold of the spot this season? And I said we got Glowinski there for 1 more year. Okay, we got him for 2 more. We can get rid of him, or we can move on from him after this season. All right, so it'll be interesting to see. But if you do bring Seumalo in, you're bringing him in to start. Well, Isaac, you can battle it out with Ben Bredesen and Zudu and this, and we'll see the best man will win. No, you're bringing him in, you're paying him, the guy's starting. Okay, but that's $11 million. Not a bad price, right? But he'll be 30 this season. I don't know if the Giants want to go that route, or they want to just try to stay younger. There's another guy from the Ravens, Ben Powers, okay? He's 26, okay? According to Pro Football Focus, he has 4-year deal, $9 million a season, okay? Powers took a meteoric leap as a pass protector in 2022. 86.5 pass blocking grade. He's a guard, right? He's the second best mark among guards this season. Powers allowed 0 sacks and just 1 quarterback hit the entire year. 1 quarterback hit the entire year, okay? Playing in front of 3 different quarterbacks over the second half of the campaign. 6'4", I mean, big, solid freaking dude. 6'4", 338-pound behemoth. Struggled a bit as a run blocker, okay? But if he could do enough to get by in Baltimore, odds he can hold up well against anywhere else, right? So, he's a very good pass protector, all right? Now, as I said, if Daniel Jones, if we can get Neal to take a little bit step forward in this coming season, we know we got Andrew Thomas, right? Who the guys can stay, healthy. The pressure up the middle, it can be a killer, can be a freaking killer. Well, if you put Ben Powers in there, right? Once again, you're bringing him in to start, right? But I mean, I think I have $9 million a season. I mean, you bring him in. I mean, you can give him a nice little signing bonus, right? And he's only 26, right? You can sign him for 3-4 years. By the time his deal's up, he'll still be barely 30, right? But you sign him, you give him a signing bonus instead of $9 million a season. Maybe his cap hit, his initial cap hit this year could be $4 million, right? I mean, something to think about. I mean, obviously, he's done that good this year. I mean, his services are going to be well needed many places, but that's somebody that the Giants can certainly afford and might be interested to take a look at, right? Because, I mean, the pressure up the middle is just, just a killer. Just a killer. And, the pressure of just being able to have Daniel Jones. One of the reasons why we can't throw the ball deep, we don't have superior talent. That's one of the reasons. But, yeah, all right, Daniel, get the ball, drop back, get on your knees, pray to Jesus that you can stand upright for 4 seconds while somebody runs down the field and you can, as we've seen when you go up against some of those superior defenses like the Cowboys who get pressure on you, right? You don't got 3-4 seconds. Against the Eagles, you're lucky if you got 2 seconds against the Eagles, right? So we've seen against some superior defenses, right, that we have some problems, right? We got to get a deep threat, but not only that, to get the deep threat deep, you got to do some pass protection. And as I said, Evan Neal taking a little step forward next season would be huge, right? But also getting that pass protection up front. Because I said Glowinski did a solid job, not bad. But I said we might only have him for I think we can possibly get him, keep him. It's a 3-year deal, so we got him for 2 more. But I think if we wanted to, we can get out after this season, right? But then there was one more guy. Oh, the center. There's Dalton Risner, from Denver. He's a guard. Nate Davis from Tennessee. He's a guard. He's only 26. I mean, he had a nice season last year. Dalton Risner, who's 27 from Denver. He had a nice year. He's a guard. As I said, Isaiah Wynn, he's a tackle. All right. Then we got the Ethan Posick, right? Posick, I believe it is. Posick. From Cleveland. He had a very, very, he's a center. Now, of course, once again, I don't think they can keep him, right? According to Pro Football Focus, they got him 3 years, $7 million a season. Now, if you brought him in for 3, I mean, he's 27. Okay, so if you sign him for 3 years, by the time his deal's done, he'll be 30. Okay, but I mean, if you brought him in for 7 or 8, if that's what it worked out to be, I mean, you could take his $8 million a year cap hit, right? Just the first year, give him a signing bonus. You can bring that down to probably like $4 million. So it wouldn't be a big cap hit at all, right? And you have a true center. Now I said, if we're going to bring Feliciano back or not, I'm not sure. That I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. But we do bring Feliciano back. It would be on the cheap. Okay. Feliciano is a guard. He can be a center. If we would bring Posick in and have him starting at center, we can have Feliciano as backup. some good quality depth at center or guard, right? Posick signed a 1-year contract with the Browns after beginning his career with the Seahawks. Faring much better under the tutelage of the offensive line coaching, Bill Callahan. That's it. Coaching helps too. Okay, Bill Callahan, very good, very good coach. Posick's 79.2 overall, 71.5 pass blocking, and 79.2 run blocking rate are all career highs. And it was great to see him able to return from a knee injury to close out the year. Cleveland has 2 of the NFL's highest paid guards, okay? And then the team also extended right tackle Jack Conklin shortly before the end of the season. So it seems possible that Posick will reach the open market. Well, he'll be PFF's highest rated available center by a decent margin, unless Kelce, because Jason Kelce, the center, the future Hall of Famer from the Eagles, okay, he's out now, as far as I know, right? Let's see. NBC has, what we got? Kelce's 35. It's a high chance Kelce decides to call it a career. That's quite possible. All spent with the Eagles. Now, if the fan favorite doesn't retire, he could possibly sign a 1-year deal to retire in Philly. So I don't know, but I mean, they don't have much money. All right, they're gonna have to work working their magic with him, and they would have to wind up probably signing them to whatever $10 million a year. They'd have to give him 3 or 4 this year, and once again, he'd be on a cap hit for them for the next 3 or 4 years, right? But the veteran or plenty of attention in free agency if he makes the surprising decision to test the market. Oh, yeah, he'd make himself some money if he goes in a free market. Absolutely. But he is 35, and I don't think that's where the Giants want to go. The Giants don't want to bring Kelce in. If you're looking to win this year, he might be your man, okay? But I don't think the Giants are going to go after somebody like him. But I'm saying Posick would be, I believe, the best center out there, okay? Reasonably priced, relatively young, okay? So there are some guys out there, okay? There's guys out there the Giants could go after, all right? Oh, hey, Ronnie, we have to get a good center. Yeah, Kelce from the Eagles is a free agent now. He might retire. He might re-sign back with the Eagles. Who knows? But I don't think the Giants, he's 35. The Giants are not signing a 35-year-old center. Unless the Giants were right on the cusp of winning a Super Bowl and they thought Kelce would be the answer, hey, maybe why not? But this is one guy, Posick, from the Browns, who's a decent center. There's some guards out there. They're not really that expensive. Posick from the Browns is a very good, solid center, right? Apparently, what I saw from Pro Football Focus, he wouldn't command a ton of money, like maybe $7 or $8 million a year for a true center who had a very good season last year with the Browns. So, I mean, there are some guys out there, some guards. There's some centers as well, too. Now, as I said, I'll have to wait and see. I don't know what Shane wants to wind up doing. Because if you want to try to bolster the interior offensive line, you want to get a cornerback, you want to get inside linebacker, and maybe another tight end, a wide receiver, it's kind of tough to do that. Well, we got 4 picks in the top 100. So, I mean, the good cornerback class, nice wide receiver class, but once you start getting to the second, third round, there's going to be nobody super duper dynamic or anything like that. So if you pass on a wide receiver in the first round, anybody on the second and third round on back, would be good, but nobody's super duper. There's some nice tight ends, but you'd have to get them kind of early. There's not a boatload of inside linebackers. I mean, obviously, once again, I said we want to bolster the inside of the, so they got some holes at the corner. It's a good cornerback class, really good cornerback class. If we got one in the first round, we would have Adoree Jackson and another corner. That would be huge for the Giants. So, but we got a lot of holes to fill, right? Somewhere along the line, we got to address the interior offensive line because, I mean, Feliciano ain't going to be with us forever. Glowinski ain't going to be with us forever, right? So I don't know what they plan on doing with Azudu. I mean, I think they drafted him in the third round for a reason. They might want to maybe put him in at a starting guard, but can the guy stay healthy, right? Who knows? Philly will be in bad shape. Oh, yeah, because they don't have they have no cap money. They have a hard time just signing a draft class. So a lot of the free agents are going to disappear because they can't bring them back. So, I mean, and then once Jalen Hurts wants to get paid, which could be this season, because after you, on your rookie deal, after you played 3 years on your rookie deal, you're able to be extended. Now, I keep hearing all these people talking and stuff and everything, like, Adam Schefter and stuff like that. Like, he'd be stone cold crazy after he took the team to the Super Bowl, okay, to go out in the field next year on his second round contract. Yeah, I think he's going to make like $4 or $5 million next year. But I mean, a lot of people keep saying he's stone cold crazy if he winds up doing that. So if he needs to renegotiate, that doesn't mean he has to break the bank this season for him. But I mean, he's going to want I was hearing maybe $50 million, $45 to $50 million. So, I mean, you put 45, 50, guess what? A lot of your good players are going to go bye-bye, right? I mean, because you can't afford them. I mean, I said, look at Aaron Rodgers. One of the reasons why he can't get back to a Super Bowl, well, because the piece of pie he wants is so big. You're getting $50 million. The salary cap's $208. You want almost 25% of the piece of pie, right? That's not a lot of pie to go around after that. So, a lot of your good quality ball players, you can't. I mean, Devontae Adams, right? He's getting $30 million, right? So you got what? Devontae Adams, $30 million, and Aaron Rodgers wants $50 million. So you're going to pay $80 million for two guys, and your salary cap is $200 million. So what is that? 40% of your salary cap is for two guys. So you got to start, thinking it's like, well, if I take too much, I won't have that extra wide receiver. If I take too much, we won't have that good center or that good guard, or So they're gonna have to start thinking. But I mean, I've seen Jalen Hurts want possibly $45 to $50 million. I mean, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So it is what it is. But they're in some trouble. But I mean, same thing with the Giants. The Giants have Daniel Jones to worry about, but he's 35 to 40 million, right? And then, of course, we got Saquon to worry about. So we got some other guys we got to try to bring in too. But it's in free agency. Okay, if they do want to bolster the inside of the offensive line, there's some guys out there they could bring in. Okay, that would be maybe a little bit more than what Glowinski's costing them. Glowinski's $6 million a season. They wanted to bring in somebody this year. Okay, it might only cost them $3 or $4 million or so toward the cap for this year, right? There's some guards and some centers out there that could help them, right, in the long run in free agency. So if they don't want to do it in the draft, there is the free agency they can turn to. So, but woo, man, it's been 48 minutes. Shoot, Ronnie, thank you. Good talking to you. The 48 minutes, guys. I got 2 thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Anybody spent any time at all watching any of this? Thank you. If anybody spends any time at all watching the replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys absolutely rock. And as always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.